He's walk with a walking stick as if he's limping. Next day, go to school, we have a list who went to Greenfig, and you'd have to have a proper reason for you to be out of your house those kind of time in the night. If your reason is not proper, your trousers would have to be down over the desk.
Teaching was not the only occupation that abounded in Bethesda Christian Hill.
We have had persons who went into the police force.
Law and order back then, when I was growing up in the village, in Bethesda and Christian Hill, was kept by special constables. One that particularly stand out is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Hamilton. We never knew him as a policeman, but he was a special constable.
Bethesda used to keep law and order so good that we never have a police station one out. Because Bethesda has always been a peaceful community. You might have one or two incidents.
I was attending Pierce Secondary, and it was like summer vacation. We have this union hall, Antigua Trades and Labor Union Hall. We used to hang out on the steps, big step, and we used to cook daily, but most times we'll cook would be a yard fowl, the local Creole fowl, you know. And this day, these guys decided, look, we're tired of eating fowl. We have to change the menu. So they decided they're going to go and get a goat. This guy, he picked up a rock, and when he threw, the one he aimed at escaped, and another one got hit. The one that got hit was a young, and it was also in kid. But they decided, well, look, we have to take this one. Gave the skin and the head to this guy to discard. He went and he threw it in the water. So the tide pushed the skin and the head back to the shoreline. This man was going pasture to look for his cows. On his way, he saw the skin and the head, and also the belly. So he took the skin and the head and went back to the village, making an alarm, holding them up high. Who for them now? I meet them, round this and them up there, cook goat. This lady, Mrs. McGinley, identified the skin and the head. It's her goat. So she came up with an uproar. And from the time she started the uproar, man was heading east, west, north, south.
Look, I kill the clap out of them now. I kill the clap out of them now. All the gun go dead. You see this here? Me a kill this here backyard. And me a kill my house here. And all have got paid.
The husband went down and he said, Iris, you no worry. Every man must pay $20.
What happened to the people in goat? When me kill the people in goat, what me and money for pay them for the goat?
It was 9 men. Those days, it was like $25 for a goat, 30 according to the size. So 9 men had to pay 20 each, which was $180. And the saddest thing, did not get a piece of the meat to eat because she took the whole can, because those days we used to cook in oil tin.
When we came remember one time, we done by Owen Giant. Little boy, you know. Our man named Kervin Bush, our guy. He hold Charles Casey hand. And he had cut and say, come let me chop him up. Bam! Bam! Chop all the man and when he go sit up and I can say he wait until the police come. I so peaceful all the same thing I do, I'm afraid.
There were many outstanding villagers who assisted in village life.
People like a man we call Uncle, who cleaned the village. He was outstanding. Mr. Owen Lawrence, who every week religiously went around with his tractor to make sure that our garbage was picked up and taken away.
Shopkeepers were very, very outstanding. And they were not much, but they were absolutely important. There was only one in the village of Christian Hill growing up, and that was Geraldine Knight and her mother.
Everybody in the community patronized the shop, which was for a time the only bakery.
She just sell by Ashton. Just give her some money for go buy Ashton to buy our lunch. Because the money could only provide just 3 bread and sometimes 10 hours for the 3 bread. Then you have to cut up that. What you just do, when you don't wipe the butter stick in there, you get a 3 span with some brown sugar. And it will go on the background there and pick 2 lime and go down in the cesspool and just some water. And I'll mix our burbage right there. Ashton Twaits. We can't forget the man, a very good man.
You had people like Mr. Moore. He was a builder. And when there were houses to build, you could bet it would be Mr. Moore from Bethesda or Mr. Boyne, Clive Boyne from Christian Hill. Those were outstanding people at the time.
And then there were those who kept the community entertained.
The village produced, many of the entertainers. Mr. Archibald, we used to call him Gajo. He used to have a little string band. He used to play a banjo. We used to have one man, we call him Color Man. He was an amputee. We never knew the name amputee then, so we used to say half a foot Color Man, and he used to have a pipe that he blow as well. We have a band called Tess and the Country Boys. I was one of the lead singers of that band. Then we moved into the entertainers, people like Zero.
I was born in the Caribbean, but my roots run deep. As a proud descendant of Africans, is with dignity I speak. Worldwide situation, of course, that is my concern. But when I think of South Africa, my heart yearns. Yet it's Marcos whose trademark is corruption. Them Soviets with the nuclear pollution that seem to draw Reagan's undivided attention. He team up with Thatcher, fighting terrorists while South Africa going through a time like this. The matter concerns us all. If we have any humanitarian principle at all.
Now we have King Fire.
And we working hard to build this land. and ambition. Fight for your country, suffer for the guilty, forgetting concession, living in luxury. Oh, yeah, while we sacrifice to build this land, we sacrifice to build this land.
Horse racing was a popular sport in Bethesda Christian Hill.
When it come Easter, in a Bethesda, and Whit, we have horse racing out at Dillap, up a place in Blake Pass. Horse racing, all local horse. So it'll be a lot of fun.
And there was one particular horse race on a Whit Monday, I think it was on a Whit Monday, that the whole village would have known about. A near tragedy existed when one of the young girls in the village, a horse chain wrapped around her feet and dragged her all over. It was a very tragic thing, but fortunately for all of us, she is very, very much alive and very much kicking these days.
Playing games was always an enjoyable pastime.
Growing up in the village, there's always something to do. There's always some place to go.
After you finish your chores, it's a matter of going to the beach. In those days, we never say we're going to the beach. We're going to bay. So we say, then we stay there, or you play cricket or football, as the case may be.
Especially in summer, when school is holiday, you go to the pasture, we call it number 7. That's the name of it. Was a cane field there. So after the cane field, they make it in a pasture. So we go and play cricket. Cricket is a very important thing in one's life in the village. We have at least 11 men from the village of Bethesda as represented Antigua in the Leeward Island cricket from the 50s up to this present moment. 3 of those men has gone on to represent West Indies cricket. Devon Thomas, Gavin Tung, and Martin. I'm not remembering his first name. But we actually started to play cricket with, we would call it the barrel stave. I don't know if you know what that is. Okay, you know the barrel that the pickled food used to come in. We use that. We make a handle out of it, and we play cricket with it. Then we move on to the coconut bowl. Same thing, shape it out, make it look like a bat. Then we move on later to the real thing.
Like with many other villages, there was an element of superstition.
Life growing up at Dillaps in the early 50s, they call them days of the dark days because electricity was nowhere to be found. Then, you know, no light pan tip like I got here, moonlight pan tip. The only light you see at night time will be a moonlight. If you're gone in early and you got your flambeau inside, you know, sometimes so your eye run out of your lamp and a flambeau you have to use.
We can remember one night I go to Crab and there a place in the Bethesda named Jais Hill that moved over to Krishna Hill. And we go east towards Thomas. Moon Bethesda and Thomas, on the eastern side of Bethesda. When you look over Jais Hill, we see a light brighter than the television light. Over Jais Hill, you have to come across the swamp. Less than no time the light, close. Why? Man Jack Flam run back a village. Jackie Lantern come.
You know, there's a burial ground between Bethesda and Christian Hill. And there's a burial ground there that when you go to Christian and come back to Bethesda, you cannot look in the burial ground. You have to keep your head straight. Sometimes you have to run past, you know. And late at night, you have to make sure either cross before that, you know.
The old man come from work and he shut pocket, there's no cigarette. And he said to me, Vesta, you have to go better to go buy me cigarette up a ladies. But halfway between Bethesda and Dinap, you got Blake. Blake are the most evilest because all the other estate, them dead go a cemetery. But Blake, everybody buried right there. The tombs are right there. When you pass through Blake, you can almost feel the presence of the Jumbi in them. Because you can smell them. You can even smell the kids through them a cook. Sometimes you hear the China plate that drop up in the Blake buff up there. We get you more scared. Then me have to pass through to go buy the cigarette for the old man. When me come back down now, them boy me up on Mr. James' gallery, I watch TV. So me go up to go watch TV with them until TV locked down, midnight. Then me wanna go home now. Then look across the hill, up above Liberta, New Village, a hillside there. We can see the lantern light on the hill. And I tell myself, I'm gonna beat that girl here. Don't start to move. And then when I look again, lantern right there. You have a wheel round, back of Bethesda. And I tap right on Mr. James' gallery until morning broke.
There is a story. Some people, they decided that they were going to get in touch with the devil. And somehow the devil required them to give them a soul. And so they would have these meetings. And when the people realized that the meetings were disguised as being church meetings, open-air church meetings, and the people realized that this is not any church, they were not having a church meeting, the people chased them off the street, and they went indoors.
You know, one of the morning now, we have big shout, and when we look, big marching, some people marching the street, marching up the street, and she's saying like this, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. She said, lift Jesus higher. That was a song they were singing coming on the street. Lift Jesus higher, higher, higher. And the people are then jumping up in the street. And the next thing now when we hear them kill Baby, lady named Baby. And when we really go, and then we will go around there, we saw the lady at the door lying down, and the door open. And she said, open the door. Jesus is coming. She will come alive at 12 o'clock. Let every eyes behold her.
She will rise! 12 o'clock! Come and see! Come, she rise! 12 o'clock! She rise! 12 o'clock! Let Jesus rise!
And there was the woman dead. They had her there, and sitting there in front, over the dead was this gentleman. And a whole bunch of police came and so on, and took them all down, arrested them and so on. And people did come from all over, because people were hear about this story and so on. This woman, that they killed this woman, and so on. And they all went to court and the case was tried.
As much as superstition was present in the community, the people were even